700,000 people attended a Chinese New Year celebration event in London on February 11th. They thought they were celebrating Chinese culture, but they were actually secretly fed CCP propaganda. Listen to this. The lyrics literally said, "Without the Communist Party, there will be no new China." It's a CCP propaganda song with a very dark history. So let me tell you about this song and why is it being performed on stage in the heart of London. Let's first talk about this song. This song came out in 2011. It's a 红歌, which means red songs, and it means it's a song made to praise communism and Maoism. And what's interesting about this song is that it sampled a well-known red song and used lyrics from another well-known red song. So it's like a 3-in-1 triple-powered propaganda song. Now, this song is called 共和国走向未来, which means Republic into the future. And here are some of the lyrics. Grandpa often tells me that we need to love our motherland. Note that the term motherland here in CCP's dictionary is equivalent to the CCP itself. And Chinese people are brainwashed by the CCP to think that China actually equals the Chinese Communist Party. The next line is, he also said that without the Communist Party, there will be no new China. Mother often tells me that we need to love our motherland, and the melody of the song goes like this. So this line and melody is sampled from an older red song. And after that, it continues, this song made me realize deeply that without the Communist Party, there will be no new China. And this line of lyrics is actually from another red song. The second verse of this song is basically the same thing, but with a little variation. Today's China made me realize deeply how proud it is to be Chinese. I love you, China. So this guy sang this entire song in Chinese only, so the English speakers at the event actually had no idea what they were listening to. And as if that's not enough, this guy actually sang the line, without the Communist Party, there will be no new China, a total of 4 times during his performance. And this is not even the worst part, because most people don't know how dark the history is behind this red song. So I mentioned how this song sampled another older Chinese red song, and that song is called 我的祖国, or My Motherland. It was created in 1956. It was a song written for a Chinese propaganda war film depicting the Korean War. Most of the lyrics of this song is about a soldier thinking about his beautiful home and his family, but there's this one verse. If friends come, there is fine wine. But if the wolves come, those who greet them have hunting guns. If you understand the history and the background of the song, you will know that the wolf here actually means the enemy, and in this case, the United Nations Army. The theme of the movie the song was created for is to die for the sake of your motherland and win no matter the cost. And indeed, this is the bloodiest war of the Cold War era with a total of 3 million casualties. But in China, the Korean War was actually glorified and officially known as 抗美援朝, which means resisting America and assisting North Korea War. And the Chinese soldiers, they were called 志愿军 in Chinese, which means People's Volunteer Army, but it's not volunteer-based at all. Actually, this war had nothing to do with China initially and directly, but it's the Chinese people that actually ended up paying a huge price. So now we know the song it was sampled from, My Motherland, is actually a war propaganda song. The lyrics was selling nationalism, and it was encouraging the fighting spirit against the US Army. And the movie it was from was clearly depicting Chinese soldiers bombing and killing American soldiers. And this movie has always been used as an anti-US war movie during all the anti-US campaigns. What's interesting is, this song was played at the White House state dinner when Obama welcomed Hu Jintao in 2011. That just shows you how sneaky and how good the CCP is at pushing their agenda overseas. Even Chinese people themselves, especially the younger generation who didn't experience the cruelty of war and learned fake history through textbooks in school, they think this is not a big deal. The song is just praising the motherland and the melody is beautiful. For example, Lang Lang. He's a pro-CCP pianist who played this song at the White House. He wrote, "My motherland, in the mind of the Chinese people, is one of the most beautiful songs." He's not entirely wrong here. Well, the Chinese older generation who grew up listening to and singing this song, they actually genuinely love the song. They consider it to be just a nostalgic song from their generation. That's because after the CCP started the Cultural Revolution in China, all Chinese traditions and entertainment were labeled as evil and poisonous, and people were forbidden to listen, to read, to watch, or sing anything other than what's approved by the Chinese Communist Party. And this movie depicting the Korean War and the song that came along with it are one of the handful of approved propaganda films and red songs that people are allowed to watch and listen to. So the entire Chinese population had no choice but to watch and listen to these movies and songs over and over. And that's how the ideology in these red songs lyrics becomes part of people's thinking. For example, the line, "Without the Communist Party, there will be no new China." This is not only in the song that was performed on stage, but it was also the title and the main lyrics in another Chinese red song from 80 years ago. And after singing it repeatedly for over 80 years, today's Chinese people actually think the CCP is truly the savior of China. And that's how they get into their head. It's also true that the melody is beautiful and catchy. That's because the CCP killed any artists and composers who refused to work for them. And then they forced the rest to create red film, red songs, and red articles to brainwash the public. These so-called artists, they borrowed existing melodies from Chinese folk songs and ethnic songs, and they used repeating melody purposefully because this is how they get people to memorize the melody and sing along. Today's pop songs work the same way, and they certainly work with the Chinese generation. Take a look at this. When the singer asked people to sing along, hear how many people willingly joined and knew the lyrics and melody by heart. This is imbued in their brain, and if you listen to it enough times, you could be humming it too. That's the brainwashing power of art forms. And that's why the CCP loves using cultural events like this to add hidden messages to achieve their agenda. And the term for it is called 文化输出, or cultural export. As we learned from the piano incident, the CCP actually sent out spies like Christine Lee to work specifically in this field. And the spies have always existed, and they're in every single country. And other than the Chinese holiday events, the CCP also created all sorts of Chinese associations and organizations to deliver CCP agenda in the name of promoting Chinese culture. For example, the infamous Confucius Institute. In the UK, all the events that Adelina hosted probably belong to this category. If the Piano Gate didn't happen, we might even see Adelina emceeing this event. Speaking of this event, who is the organizer of this event? How did they allow a pro-CCP propaganda red song to be performed on stage in the heart of London? Well, it actually turns out it's not a coincidence or an accident. The organizer of this event is called London Chinatown Chinese Association, and it has deep ties with the CCP. On their website, it says it was established in 1978, well after the CCP took over China, and it's made for Chinese people living in the United Kingdom and with a heart connecting to China. This is typical words used by the CCP's United Front Work Department. And on top of that, the Chinese ambassador and his wife came to support this event. This is a direct sign that the CCP is behind it. And let's look at the performers of this event. The main group is called 四海同春艺术团. It means 4 seas, same spring. And the event itself is actually named after this group. According to Baidu, this is established by CCP's Overseas Chinese Affairs Office, also known as the CCP's United Front Work Department. And another group is called 龙武新春艺术团. It's just one of the hundreds of state-sponsored performance troupes that the CCP send out every year around the world to do soft power cultural exportation. There are also performers from Lang Lang International Music Foundation. If you remember Lang Lang, he's the pro-CCP pianist who performed the Red Song in the White House in 2011. There's no doubt the organizer, LCCA, has close partnership with the CCP, and I wouldn't be surprised if LCCA was actually established directly under CCP's order. To be honest, when I first heard this guy's lyrics on stage, I couldn't believe my eyes and my ears. How could a guy be singing pro-CCP Red Song at the event this scale in the heart of London? The mayor of London came to support this event. The king and the prime minister both sent in their congratulatory letters, and there were 700,000 attendees. And most of them have no idea that this guy was openly promoting communism propaganda on stage. They thought they were just enjoying Chinese culture. But even the cultural aspect of this event is far from the genuine traditional Chinese culture from the 5,000 years of Chinese civilization. And the reason is the organizers don't understand traditional Chinese culture. I mentioned before how the CCP started the Cultural Revolution to destroy everything on purpose. By doing that, they created a void in people's life and in their mind. And instead, they filled it with CCP propaganda. In recent years, the CCP started allowing surface revival of some traditions, and that includes dance, music, costumes, food, and drinks, but not the core, the spiritual side of Chinese culture that's still considered taboo because it's against communist ideology. For example, the Chinese New Year, just like all Chinese holidays, traditionally Chinese people would be paying respect to elders, making rituals to worship and thanking the gods, the Buddhas, the Taoists, and the deities. It's also the end of the year, so people will be reflecting on their wrongdoings in the past year and hope to do better next year. In the past, before communism took over China, most Chinese people didn't dare to do bad things on purpose, not only because that's what they were taught in school, but also because they believe in karmic retribution. Doing good deeds will be rewarded and doing bad things will be punished. And this belief maintained the society's morality. But today, most Chinese people have lost the baseline of morality. And even with holiday celebrations, all that's left is the materialistic side of things, such as the lion dance, the dragon dance, and eating dumplings. But the spiritual side is labeled by the CCP as superstitious and need to be abandoned. So unfortunately, Chinese culture today is nothing but an empty shell that the CCP can exploit and capitalize on. So if you like China and Chinese culture, be extra careful where you get your information from. Also try to keep your eyes peeled because it's much easier to pinpoint the CCP behavior and influence if they act very unreasonably, like the shouty guy Newton from the piano incident. But it's much harder if they creep in on you through soft power, like in this event, like through Confucius Institute. Thank you for watching. I'm Ali, and I'll see you next time.